How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another installment of this series. I overheat way too easily, which I know is like what everyone says because everyone's human and we all have a core temperature and we all can overheat very easily, but you don't understand. It could be 70 degrees and I will start to overheat. I'm convinced I was born in the wrong biome. And when I look at my genetics, when I look at the lovely genes my mother and father gave me, I know for a fact I was bred in the wrong biome. I have a lot of Scottish, a lot of Irish, a lot of new Norwegian. That there was. I almost said Norwegian. I'm like, nah, that doesn't sound right. I also have a lot of Greenland and a lot of no Iceland. I don't think is there anyone that lives in Greenland. I should have checked that before I started the episode. But Iceland and pretty much every area where the climate is supposed to be cold. Yeah, I have genetic ties to those locations, which means that I should have been born somewhere where there's snow, where there's the cold. But no, fate decided to take my husky body and put me in a warm climate like California. And not just anywhere in California. Like there's areas in California that gets cold. There's areas in California where it gets like average temperature, like in Anaheim. I feel like Anaheim's got a decent temperature to it, or San Diego, or like Orange County, really anywhere in Orange County. But you see, I live in the Inland Empire, which I really hope that's where I live. I live in the desert, is what I'm trying to say, and it's kind of sucks because during the summer around here it reaches somewhere up to 100, 104. One time I got up to 109. One time I got up to 110. I don't know how where the max is. I think if it ever gets to 120, that's when people start to stop living. But just the fact that it's just 10 degrees away, just 10 more degrees, and we're no longer here is awful. And I, I don't mean to be gross, okay? I don't mean to be disgusting, but I get a heat rash. I get like these this hives, all right? And it sucks. It sucks. It starts off with like, ooh, my everything itches, to then, ooh, I hate life. I hate all of this. So I hate living here. I have family members who have moved away for the same reason. And whenever people are like, "Hey, are you going to move back? Are you going to move back?" No. No, they're not going to move back. Are you serious? And for all of you who are like, well, I prefer the heat over the cold. Why? Why? Here's the thing. When it's cold, put on a sweater. Put on some sweaty pants, right? Put on an extra layer of shirt. You can get warm. You know what you can't get when it's hot? Cool. You can't cool off. There's techniques, sure, like soaking yourself in water. Sure, that works. Getting an ice pack, put it on your face. That works too. Taking all of your clothes off. That kind of works for like a little bit. But like, what are you gonna do when you have to go to work? You're in an office. Are you gonna be like, oh, hold on, boss, I need to go to the bathroom and dunk water from head to toe? Oh well, my job has AC. Good for you. Where I live in this house that I'm in, which I'm grateful for. Of course, I'm grateful for having a roof over my head and walls to keep out the wild. You know, the elements outdoors. Of course, I'm glad for that. I'm very grateful for that. What it does not have, however, is AC. So whatever temperature is outside, if it's 108 outside, it's 108 inside. Sometimes hotter. And that sucks. Now, of course, it's shaded, so I'm not like directly into the sun. That's fine. But it still sucks. The people who are like, oh, but it's a dry heat. Yeah, that's called being suffocated. What are you doing? You're out there in the wild outdoors being suffocated by dry heat. And to all of you who are like, oh, but like I love the heat. Oh, I love the good. Go outside and melt. Go out there. Suffer. That's what your penance is. That's what your crime is. Go outside and melt in the sun. Because all these people who are like, oh, but I like the heat. They're not out there. They're not under the sun. They're inside with the AC on. Now, of course, I've seen people who are, genuinely into the sun, genuinely going out there during the summer, and guess what their skin looks like? That's right, burnt meat. They look like bacon. They look like leather. Like, those are the ones that truly love the heat, are the ones with legitimate dry skin, and it looks like that skin has stretched over their bones. Yep, you've convinced me. Congratulations. You now look like leather. But yes, you absolutely do in fact love the heat. I can tell by the way that you're calloused from head to toe. I can tell. As for me, in my pale complexion, I do not like the heat. Okay? I barely have a tan. I'm Casper the Friendly Ghost. I do not go out in the sun. I do not like being out there. So I do my best to stay cool. I have a ceiling fan, which doesn't make sense because heat rises. So when I turn the ceiling fan on, I'm practically pushing it down back on me. I have a floor fan. I don't know what to call it. I don't know what, a fan. I guess it's just a fan. I have a fan. But like all it's doing is it's just moving around the warm air. It's just moving it around. I'm creating a cyclone inside my room. Now sometimes I'll just turn on the AC and just let it go all day long. And I know what you're about to say, oh, but you said you didn't have an AC. Well, I do, it doesn't work. And my dad and I, because I live with my dad, we've talked about calling someone out to check on it, and we never do, because we say we're going to, and then we just decide not to, and then we just don't, and then it's winter, and when it's winter, it's amazing. I love it when it gets winter, but here's the thing: there's no in between where I live. It's instantly hot or instantly cold. There's no lukewarm. So during the winter, I love it because I have a really hard time getting cold. I can handle the cold. Unless it gets somewhere like 10 degrees, because I have been somewhere where it's been 10 degrees. I've been somewhere where it's been -1 degrees. That sucks. I would not recommend living anywhere in those temperatures. But if it's like 60, yeah, that's perfect. 50, a little cold, but that's still, doable. The moment it gets 70, though, I hate it. And where I live, it gets up to 100, 109. So if I hate it at 70, 109 super sucks. But it's nothing that I can control. All I can do is complain about it and hope to God that someday my online internet content makes me enough money to where I can move to a colder biome. But until then, I just have to suffer with everyone else that hates the heat. But that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you so very much for listening.